a new, exciting open source blockchain platform has been born. Its core mission is to develop easier and more affordable tools for everyone to be able to create tokens and NFTs. For the first time, we're introducing the innovative Tokel platform, a fully decentralized, community-driven project with contributors globally. It offers many new powerful features for artists, content creators, and event organizers and token owners. Tokel is building the future of tokenization together with the help of Komodo Technologies. Creators and users have the freedom to create, to hold, buy, sell, and trade tokens with ease. Developers have the freedom to build on top of the platform's layer. Tokel has features such as simplified token creation tools, token decks, and NFT marketplace. The NFT creation process has an extremely low barrier to entry. Businesses and individuals can now benefit from the token economy by using tokens in everyday life. A built-in decentralized exchange enables peer-to-peer trading. Tokel.io, the future of tokenization to NFT and beyond.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Giuliano, and you're listening to Tokel Talk. On today's show, we're going to focus on NFTs, prize campaigns, and charities with Ayman Itani from NFT Power Up. Ayman is a business growth specialist, advisor, and public speaker dedicated to helping founders, investors, government entities, and established businesses meet their growth objectives. His areas of expertise include business development, user oriented technological development, public speaking, content creation, NFTs, and cryptocurrency. So, thanks for taking the time to join us on Tokel Talk today, Ayman.
Giuliano, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you again for being here, and as well, thank you to Ahmad for being here as well from NFT Power Up. Hello, Ahmad.
Hey Giuliano, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to learning all about NFT Power Up and what you're doing in the NFT and cryptocurrency space. Um, so here we go. But also joining us are Kelsey and Nutella from the Tokel platform, and shout outs to Dream Team as well. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Nutella.
Hey there.
So, yeah, we're doing well. If you would like to contact us, visit our website, tokel.io/tokeltalk. Before we learn more about NFT Power Up, we're going to have Kelsey get in here with some NFT stats and news. And what are you bringing us today, Kelsey?
All right. Well, the NFT industry market cap is sitting at just over $2.3 billion. There were over 53,000 NFTs sold last week for a sales volume of over $32 million. The top 5 NFTs that sold for the most last week were 3 CryptoPunks, one selling for $4 million, one selling for $1 million, and another selling for $267,000. A Bored Ape NFT sold for $1 million, and an Other Side NFT sold for $279,000. The top 5 collections over the last week were CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Other Side, and Clone X. In NFT news, Facebook and Instagram users in the US will now be able to connect their crypto wallets to the platforms and share NFTs to their accounts. Once a user connects their wallet, they will be able to choose which NFTs they want to share, and the NFT description, including the creator and collector, will automatically be tagged in the post. Madison Metals and Lux have created the first ever uranium-backed NFT. Lux NFT brings liquidity and universal access to the uranium market, and it is ushering in a new era for both the tokenization of physical assets and the distribution of the Earth's most valuable resources. Starting October 15th, almost anyone in the world will be able to mint Lux uranium NFTs, and they will tokenize 7 million pounds of uranium that Madison has contributed to the Lux partnership. This will be followed by an additional 12 million pounds to be minted later. Ingram Content Group is investing in Book.io, a company making ebooks available on the blockchain where they can be sold as NFTs. According to Book.io, turning ebooks into NFTs will allow readers to truly own the digital books they purchase instead of the current licensing model. Apple is currently in hot water with NFT enthusiasts. NFT app developers and users are unhappy with a recent decision by Apple to impose a 30% commission on NFTs sold through apps on its marketplace. Apple's standard commission on in-app purchases is 30%, similar to the rate on Android's App Store Google Play. The commission rate has, however, been slammed by some for being grotesquely overpriced, particularly when compared to standard NFT marketplace commissions, which are around 2.5%. Build-A-Bear Workshop announced that it is partnering with the NFT platform Suite to release their first NFTs today, October 4th. Build-A-Bear's NFTs will feature both digital and real-life collectible components. The first to be released at an auction, a limited edition Build-A-Bear 25th Celebration NFT collectible featuring Swarovski crystals and a crystal heart, will be auctioned off with bids starting at $2,500. The auction winner will also receive a physical teddy bear and a complimentary trip for two to Build-A-Bear's 25th anniversary gala on October 22nd in St. Louis. In NFT gaming news, Epic Games has doubled down on Web3 gaming support by adding a Solana-based game called Star Atlas to its roster. The Epic Games Store launched its first blockchain-based title, Blankos Block Party, earlier, and now it's adding a second title to its slate of offerings. Star Atlas is an MMO built on Epic's Unreal Engine 5. The exact release date on the store is still unannounced, but a demo is already available for users to try out. Sega has partnered with Japanese blockchain company Double Jump to develop a new game based on Sega's popular Sengokushi Taizan series, a real-time strategy game where players collect physical cards, which they can then place on the playing area to make them appear in the actual game. Numerous game companies have already started selling digital items as NFTs, including Sega's competitors Konami and Atari. And that's what's happening in the NFT news.
Thanks, Kelsey, for keeping us all informed. That's a lot of good news over there.
Of course, yeah.
All right. Well, now we're going to move over to NFT PowerUps. But I just wanted to mention that the C apps and the D apps are related to Bricken, and that was another guest we're going to have. Yeah, we're rescheduling that hopefully for a date soon. So today we're going to focus on NFT PowerUps with Ayman Itani. And so again, thank you for being here today, Ayman.
Happy to be here, Julian.
And we're going to also be doing a whitelist giveaway for the live listeners. So if you are stick around and listen here live in the Discord, we're going to we've been gifted a giveaway from NFT PowerUps to join the whitelist for an NFT PowerUps original. And we're going to find out a bit more about all of that NFT PowerUps and what's coming. So I think we're going to start maybe from the idea of what's the mission that you're bringing here, Ayman.
So, in Giuliano, all of us have had cases where we were very close to minting an NFT, and then we had maybe second thoughts, do we do this or not? And then we ended up not minting them. And with time, what we passed on becomes very, very valuable and outside our capability. And we've also had many scenarios where we haven't heard of a specific NFT, and then we come across it later, and it's already too late. It's in an advanced stage. So based on that, I've lived through that myself. Many of us here in the talk have had that. My co-founders as well. So based on that, we've created NFT Power Up as a way for second chances, where you mint a Power Up original, and you join campaigns we are running for winning blue chip NFTs. So once you're part of the Power Up community, you mint to join the campaign, and then there's a raffle draw for you to mint for you to get awarded a blue chip NFT, hence the second chance approach. Moreover, from the artwork direction as well, our NFTs are drawn by the children of the charities that we're collaborating with. So the artwork are actually hand drawn by the kids, and we're tokenizing them into NFTs that become the Power Up originals.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like there's also, from what I was looking at, there's a lot more to it for you. This is a whole business model as well. There was a conception phase where you conducted market research, did feasibility studies, you had to validate your business model, and then even like onboard advisors and partners, and then you had to connect with charities, and you even had to think about naming and branding and that sort of thing. So how was this idea born, and like, was it yours? Did you have a team with you already? What sort of collaboration was needed for you to achieve those things, at least getting that business going?
Well, every successful large-scale project requires a lot of effort and involving different parties and different opinions for us to be able to reach a certain level where we're happy with the work being done. And so there's myself and my other co-founders. We're active in the Web3 space, and we are also active in Web2 space as well. So the evolution to Web3 was natural, and we all have had our hits or misses with NFTs. We felt that, and when we speak with others in the space as well, it was always a common theme. It's like they ask you, when did you come into the project? How early? How much did you pay? Did you sell or not? Did you come in late? Did you pay this much? And so that was always a common discussion we were seeing in our circles and the people we were talking to, whether in person or online. So that triggered the direction for this. But in order to do this, you're going to have to look at, okay, there's something there, but how do we materialize it? That's when you have to look at building small and growing this, building one layer at a time. So looking at what are the building blocks. It's the artwork, it's the tokenization. It's also a core component for us is transparency. So when people win with us, is it me giving to Giuliano because I was a guest on the show, or was it actually fair?
Yeah, that's an important.
And then so
that's actually a super
so
important point. I'm glad you bring that up. Yeah, tell us more.
So for that, it took us a while to identify a transparent and verifiable way to do so, and for that we've implemented with Chainlink VRF. Chainlink VRF is a tool that selects that enables you to select winners of a raffle in a very transparent way on the blockchain. All of this is traceable, public for people to see. So it's a third party. We're not using our own algorithm or own techniques. We're using a third party for this, and it's a public, verifiable way of choosing winners. So that's also a core building block that took us a while to properly implement. And also there's the aspect of the giveaways, of gradually building a library of the blue chip NFTs. So with every campaign that the Power Up Original participates in, we already have the NFT. So we're also showing proof of ownership of the NFT that we're giving out. So it's not like we're waiting for the campaign to succeed for us to go out and do this. So we already have it ready to be given out to the participants. So selecting these NFTs, funding these NFTs, buying them at the right time, and identifying what blue chip NFTs are of interest, what are up and coming NFTs that are pre-blue chip as well. So that also takes a while. Then there's building the team, building the community, building the content. So it's
okay.
It's
there's
the building blocks.
Wow. No, I'm glad you talked about the building blocks, the layers, and these are these components that are coming together for you to create this whole NFT PowerUps project. And Actually, you touched on something else that didn't quite come to my mind until just now, which is that you probably watching the markets very closely and understanding, like you mentioned, about picking up NFTs at good times and at good levels, and knowing, or at least doing a lot of research to find out what could be up and coming, or what could become blue chip, or what really are the blue chips that you want to, because you must be putting big money towards these things at the same time. If you're acquiring this library, that's a significant thing, isn't it?
Yes, so we have a Bored Ape, we have an Azuki, we have VFriends Series 1 and 2, and all of those, the cost of those add up. I'm not claiming that we know where the market is going and how to snipe NFTs and so on. I'm not claiming that, but we're active in the space on a personal level. We've been buying. Some of them have been doing well. Some of them are a miss, as with any NFT participant the space. So we're giving away initially. We're giving away things that we'd ideally like to have ourselves on a personal level, and then once, and also we'll be asking the community to select, to vote for NFTs they would like us to buy and give away in the campaign. So that's something as well we intend to do.
Nice. Yeah, you're going to involve the community and have them do that participation. That's pretty cool. So it sounds like, okay, I mean, this has been considered a bear market, and so maybe I hope you've had a good opportunity to get some good pieces that are going to help your project go along the way. And good luck. Good luck on that end of things. Are you still in the acquisition of this library? You still are always looking for things?
We're doing both. We're buying and building. Those are areas of focus. So initially, Giuliano, we were rushing to build a series of things. The market was very active. We were, we felt from different community members that, let's go live, let's do this, let's start now, and so on. But when the market went down, initially, as everybody else, we were observing to see what would that mean. But then we saw this as an opportunity to do two main things. One is to build thoroughly and quietly and patiently a more solid base. So we no longer had to rush things. We're able to build better and grow the team more. And then also we have an opportunity with the market being down is to acquire NFTs at a better price. I mean, Bored Apes are still expensive, but they're less than what they used to be before.
Yeah. And now we're in towards the end of Q3 of 2022, and you're nearing the minting of the NFT PowerUps originals. But I don't want to go too far away from these layers that you're bringing, because I think they are important. I mean, you mentioned important things like the fact that, okay, you're doing these campaign giveaways where you're giving away these prizes. So transparency and openness and verifiability becomes super important. And you mentioned too that during a, like, for example, during this bear market, it's a time to build, and that's what we hear a lot from people. So when I hear that from you, it sounds like, yeah, you're creating a base, without rushing it, you're being patient, and that involved, so you're building on Ethereum, and that involved dealing with smart contracts and development. And you don't do that yourself, so you have a team that does that for you, is that right?
Yes. So our team is structured between the development for the smart contract and the related aspects. We have as well the content team in terms of what is relevant for the project, what is relevant related to the content for the charities, what is relevant to pop culture. And then we have members of the team who are on the community engagement bit. We have others who are more on the trading part, trying to identify the relevant NFTs. We have a designer on the team as well. And we're also gearing up to do some more video content. So we're experimenting a little bit with video content related to some of it's stop motion, other of it is in-person video. So we're experimenting a little bit more with that with that format to see what concepts we can work on. So the bear market has been good for us to do this, because initially we could things were too fast for everybody, and we needed to rush to the finish line. But now we feel that we're able to do this thoroughly and better now.
Yeah, less sweaty. So yeah, so that's good. And you know what? Actually, what I also want to hear more about is about the charities, because that's another layer of this, where you're involving these charities. There are children involved as well, creating these artworks. They're associated with charities, and then so it's going to be like they're collaborating with you. You're collaborating with them. Tell us a bit more about this. Like, that's obviously another part of the team that has to interact and get involved with charities, and so yeah, please tell us more.
And now the charity part, Giuliano, has been interesting on many ways. So, for example, with Shoes That Fit, when we spoke with the team of Shoes That Fit, and when they tell us about the project about providing shoes for kids who their parents and families around them, they can't afford those shoes. So it's a pair of shoes. And then the first thought in my mind is, we're spoiled. We're very spoiled with us, people around us, and so on. Where others are, focusing on a pair of shoes that are very, very valuable for this. And so that was one aspect. The second part, we felt that, like you and I and the listeners here, were so engrossed in Web3. It's something we look at every day. We tune into spaces like this, and we read about this, and we're on crypto Twitter. But others are not like us on this. So, and especially when you're dealing with charities that are struggling to solve common social issues and funding and operational issues and so on. So Web3 is not on the horizon for them. So what we felt that with this collaboration, we were able to bring the promise of Web3 closer to folks in Web2 who this is not on their list, or they're not focusing on. And so this way, in terms of a percentage of the project would go to them. That's one. Second, the artwork itself is drawn by the underprivileged kids from different charities that we're working with. So we're taking that artwork, we're tokenizing them as well. So that we felt was also another step of bringing Web3 closer to folks in Web2 who don't have the luxury that you and I have, and the listeners have, of diving deep into Web3.
Yeah, and the artwork itself, is somebody also modifying and like transforming it digitally?
We have to absolutely. So it's hand drawn and hand colored by the kids. But then, of course, we have to scan it, digitize it. We have to add the tokenized element, and we have to modify it slightly for tokens and characteristics and aspects that are part of that space. But the core is the hand colored, hand drawn drawing that we digitize, and we go through the flow in the process.
So that's going to be the NFT Power Up original that would be minted.
Yes.
Coming up. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Cool. And so you're gonna mint these. There's like 5,555 of them, and they're each unique.
Yes.
So that's like 5,555 different artworks from kids. Did the same kid do multiples, or is it individual?
No, some kids did multiples, others did single ones as well. And since we're digitizing and tokenizing them, we had to add elements that are built into NFTs, like frames and things like this, or so on. So also having a variation of that digitally helps contribute to the 555s.
Okay, so I see how that makes the uniqueness. Okay, and so then there's also Doodle Up NFTs. What's the difference between the Power Up originals and the Doodle Up NFTs?
Yes, thank you for asking that. So once somebody buys the Power Up original, they become part of it's a membership in the Power Up community. and they have access to all of the campaigns. So then, in that case, they would choose if they want a Bored Ape or an Azuki or a VFriends or something else that they want. So they can choose a campaign they want to participate in. So if somebody wants an Azuki, they would mint a Doodle Up NFT, which acts as their ticket that is in the draw. So when they mint it, they get the NFT, the Doodle Up NFT, that's theirs to own, and also that NFT itself acts as a ticket for winning that Azuki that they wanted. If they don't care about the Azuki, they want a Bored Ape, they would participate in the Bored Ape campaign. They would mint a Doodle Up NFT, so they own the NFT and they would do that. So they're able to do this because they're part of they're an official member of the Power Up community by owning Power Up Original.
I see. Nice. Okay, so in that sense, yeah, it's like their community participation comes from the Power Up Original, and then with the Doodle Up NFT, it's an option. You just buy it if you want to participate in the campaign. It's like a ticket, and you can buy multiple of them to be part of the same campaign. And if you don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it, but then you're not part of that campaign. And anything else we should know around that? Oh, like what happens? What can you do with the Doodle Up NFT, or is it just something to hold, or do you give them
Of course,
back,
of
or what
course.
happens?
So the holding mostly will be with the Power Up Original, and with the Doodle Ups. So there are two scenarios. Either you actually win the blue chip NFT, which is great, and then there's another scenario where you don't win that, which is also a possibility. So in that case, what you can do is there are a couple of things. So we're building a marketplace where you can trade in the Doodle Ups that you did not win it. So you can trade it in for an experience or PS5 or just there's going to be a wide range of different things where you can trade in your Doodle Up NFTs if you want to into other things. It could be trips. So we have a series of different services and offerings in the marketplace that people can do that. So we want to make sure that there are outlets for you to continue to win.
Interesting. That sounds like a fun atmosphere in some sense. I would hate to be the guy that never wins, but how do you think about that? Like, I guess there's something there for everybody. There's going to be merch and other airdrops and other things like that too, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And the key aspect to all of this, Giuliano, is we'll be paying attention to feedback from the community on what they want to win, what they want to have in the marketplace to trade in for the Doodle Ups that did not win, and so on. So we'll be paying close attention to that to see what we can reflect from that, and we'll be doing voting and selection and so on to reflect their interest. So that will also make it more interesting for everybody involved in the participation.
Yeah, interesting. And there's also a potential to distribute rewards to holders. Is that true?
We have a few things there on that. We have something in mind for that as well, but we want to make sure that also we're doing it correctly, so that some folks have concerns about are these securities or not, or so on. So we're working on something there which we haven't finalized. We haven't finalized yet, just to make sure that we're compliant with many things, and that the winners are also comfortable holding.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want any of those swords hanging over me either these days, right? So yeah,
Correct.
but let's just take a step back here. You had mentioned the Chainlink VRF, the verifiable random function. So that's going to be involved in choosing and verifying, or at least being transparent with the winners of these campaigns. That's right.
So so transparency is a big deal for anything that we're participating in, because we feel this is core to what we're doing, and to find tools, because selecting something randomly on the blockchain is technically complex due to the distributed nature of it, and I think how we store information and so on. what Chainlink VRF have done have found a unique way of selecting winners. So you have a pool, they would go through it, they would select it. All of that is written on the blockchain. All of that is verifiable. It's transparent. So and it's run through their platform, and it can be easily audited with everything there. So that is definitely a strong contributor to the transparency aspect. Moreover, from a transparency perspective, what we've done is we've commissioned. We were working with CertDK on two things. And one is making sure that the founders are doxed, so they have their own KYC verification, which is thorough and lengthy, which we completed. And also on the smart contract part, what CertDK do is they audit the smart contract to make sure that everything is legitimate and there are no no common security loopholes. And CertDK have done that for USDT and so many other large projects. So it's their bread and butter. CertDK is valued at it's a multi-billion dollar firm now, and they're doing verification for smart contracts and owners as well. So that's something as well as part of our transparency push. We have that. We're working with CertDK on that.
Nice, amazing. Those are some interesting details there, and so it sounds like, okay, there's a lot of technology actually behind your project, behind your NFT PowerUps. It's going to be involved also with your marketplace and like these smart contracts. Is that right, or how are the smart contracts fitting into your model with the campaign? It's automated. Is that the sense?
Giuliano, it's very clear you're from the space. You're asking these very accurate and insightful questions, and you're thinking all the way through with that. So this is thank you for doing that, and I'm enjoying our discussion. So there is complexity because for minting and then verifying ownership and then also trading in the marketplaces, and what we're doing is the way we've done with all of our other different businesses that we did as founders is we're building one layer at a time. So because it's complex, we have to take it one layer at a time. So we build the first layer, we test it, we run it, and then when it works well, then we proceed to build the second layer, and then the third, and then the fourth, until. So this is how it's built, and we're taking advantage of the market now being down for us to do it right, to do it properly, to build the needed layers for the technical complexity, so that we're able to do this right.
Nice. Okay. I mean, and I like a couple questions come to me. One came a little bit earlier. I'll try and hold it, but this one now comes where I'm like, just, I guess, for example, you're building on Ethereum. As you do that, do you ever feel concerns? Is it okay because you can always just use a different one if something goes wrong? Or do you feel like very secure with Ethereum? Like, how's your sense of this? Like, because I imagine somebody doing a business and choosing what country they're going to do their business in, and things matter like that. So does that similar thing happen for you? But in this case, it's like with a blockchain.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it, right? So it could be on, I can understand your analogy now. So it could be on the choice of the country they choose to incorporate in, or it could be the choice of the license. So every time you open up a company, you have to choose, a license or an emphasis, what type of company it is, and you're authorized to do that in the state or city or country that you're in. So yes, it is a choice that is significant and steers steers toward that. Yes. And we're building on Ethereum. We're also excited about other blockchain platforms as well. We're looking at different blockchain platforms as well. We have a few other projects lined up, but we're focusing on this for now. But yes, there is a lot of promise. There's a lot of promise with blockchain. So I was listening. I was at an event recently, and the founder of Polygon was sharing that today all of the discussions about blockchain and the technology being built, which is basically the core infrastructure. What he was saying is what's missing are the applications on top. So the successful applications on top that run on top of the blockchain. And he said that in 5 years from now, if we're still focusing immensely on the core infrastructure, that means the industry as a whole has failed, because to have wide adoption, we would need those killer apps that are successful, that 1 billion people use them on a regular basis, and the blockchain will power everything, and it's there in the background. But today it's in the forefront of everything, and he feels that with time, the discussion will need to move towards the apps on top of blockchain.
Mm. Yeah, very, very interesting. I do see what you mean when you say about the adoption and usage. And I mean, what are you going to use it for, right? So that's where these apps come into play. Um, the other thing I was curious about, as you keep talking, is how do you like to stay informed and up to date? Like, what's your go-to if you're opening up? You want to find out what's happening in the NFT space or in crypto or something like that. How do you keep informed?
My recommendation is of two parts. The first part, first, it depends on what type of, how involved are you. So I'm going to assume somebody is not informed at all on Web3. They want to get into this. That's one category,
Okay.
and there's a path for that. And then there's a second path where you're already somehow initiated. So you have your wallet. You've bought a few tokens. You've bought a few NFTs. You've lost here and there. So just you're initiated in a sense,
You've been scammed. Yeah. Okay.
and that's the second path. So let's go with the first path. The first path is I applied to myself based on what happened with me, where it took me a while to figure out what all of this means. And in the beginning, you have all of these buzzwords that people hide behind, and the applications are not clear. There are different technologies being used, so it's not a straightforward path. So my recommendation with this would be, I'm going to share on what worked for me. Also, and each one of us learns differently, but what worked for me were two things. One is participating in conferences. So I was going to in-person conferences in different cities and different countries, and what I'm doing is listening to different speakers, talking to people in the community, talking to the vendors. And what I appreciate a lot about the Web3 community is how much people are open. So I'd ask the basic questions. I had concerns at the beginning that somebody would just, what is this question you're asking, and or look at me funny. I never had that. I never had that issue. They were always open to answer questions, to be helpful. And I saw this in different countries. So that's a Web3 community, especially in the beginning. So that part was something that definitely helped me. And the second part, that's more for me on a personal basis. I read, and I got, I read and purchase physical books. And the reason I talk about physical books is when I'm looking at electronic books, I'm always, distracted by my notification, by Discord, by Twitter, by just, I'm distracted. I find myself when I focus on the actual book. So and I was surprised to find enough books about NFTs and blockchain. I thought I was going to find maybe one or two, but there are ample. There are really, really ample. I was
Okay.
surprised. So I thought I'm going to find this random book and then struggle with it, but no, I found so many. So that's for those who want to get started initially, right? So for those who are initiated, I think.
How about like for the guy who's running? How about for you? Like you're definitely need to stay at the forefront. And I imagine the people listening to this here in our audience, they like to be right up front with it, and I'm sure they have really good sources. I mean, they're here right now, so. But yeah, like what is like one or two of your go-tos, or do you have people that that do research and they come to you and they're like, hey, check this and this out?
No, it's mostly me going deep. I mean, we talk a lot in the team about the things that we've seen and observed, but I go deep into it myself.
Okay.
Crypto Twitter has been really a very good place for me in terms of
Okay.
being
It
informed,
starts
in
you
terms of
down
talk.
the hole. Like that's the beginning
100%.
of the hole. You're like, there's a hole. Let me go down that hole.
Yeah. So that's my
Yeah.
morning and
Cool.
that's my
Okay.
evening. So as soon as I wake up, that's what I go with. I know the productivity gurus tell you not to use your phone in the morning. Crypto Twitter is my go-to in the morning before I
Okay.
wash my face,
Okay.
and
No, that's cool.
and in the evening before I sign off, and then spaces like this.
Great.
Like today, what you and I have covered are what are the building blocks? How do we do this? What
Mm.
are things that we're considering? What are problems we're overcoming? So we're having an open discussion. This is also spaces like this are also immensely valuable.
Right on. Well, that's amazing, and thanks for sharing that with us. A little bit of your routine, your information gathering routine. I think that those are interesting little tidbits. I mean, you clearly need to keep up with it. You clearly enjoy it and have a passion for it as well. And so that kind of came to my mind. I was curious, and it's nice to hear that
What's yours?
yeah.
What's your go-to,
No,
Giuliano?
you're right.
How do
Twitter,
you stay up to
definitely
date?
Twitter. Yeah, Twitter is a good one. And then a couple of key, content creators, let's say on the YouTube, that share regular, good quality information. And then, yeah, like I get to talk to people like you, and so that helps me within the whole NFT space and the wider crypto space. And I think just being part of these communities here, like I definitely participate around the Komodo and related communities. And they have been a source of tons of learning and information for me. And then in terms of keeping up to date, yeah, I think there's a very various set of sources that come together like that. And so yeah, good question.
Have
Thanks.
events have events been useful to you or not so much?
I don't think that I've been really participating in events, and I would like to. Um, so I think you're right about events.
VCon was excellent. VCon
Yeah, no,
was
you're right
excellent.
about
It
events,
was
and I've
very,
heard
very.
a lot about. Oh yeah, okay, and I've heard a lot about NFT events generally as well. And you're right; it is something different to see people directly and talk about these things directly with them, from everyone's diverse backgrounds, and then this common ground, let's say, of NFTs or crypto in general. And so you're right, actually. And so I think getting out to some of these conferences and events is a great recommendation. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, this conversation has definitely continues to be very informative, and I'm super glad that you've joined us today, Ayman. And I think the other thing maybe is just to go towards the future a little bit and do little thought experiments or imaginations. Even for you and NFT Power Ups, you're looking to expand into the metaverse. Um, and ideas like buying, I think, headquarters for holders or something like that, where they can have an engaging experience that's exclusive. Like, what are your thoughts around this? I mean, you don't have to tell us specific plans because maybe they're not laid, but yeah, what are your thoughts around all of these ideas?
We already own plots in Decentraland and Sandbox, and we're also looking at one or two other metaverses. I was having a discussion this afternoon with one of the metaverses as well. So we already own the plots. We're sleeping on them for now until as the project evolves and as the concept evolves. Because for the metaverse, you need to have a concept that would really resonate, and there's a building process around that. So we do have a few things in mind that we're still working on, but we already own the plots, those are ready to
Cool.
go once the concept evolves.
So then, how do you see this whole concept evolving? I mean, I guess it's can be simple and basic. Like, okay, you have this headquarters that's based on this Decentraland plots, for example, as Decentraland, and then your verified NFT Power Up holders, um, using their verified NFT Power Ups originals, can can join into your space and then participate in whatever events you have there. Is that right?
Yes, that flow
And,
makes a
and
lot of sense as in line with what we're thinking.
so as we create this world, like you're saying, like it's it's still coming. It's not quite there yet. But do you see it as being very interactive and like people actually wanting to spend time there having these experiences?
What I've seen from other metaverses that I'm observing is that people are participating, but the duration of time is not very, very long. Unless it's a game or something, that's different. But just the duration is not long just yet. And I think for it to be longer, two things need to happen. One is the concept and the engagement there needs to be better. That's one. Second, the headsets that we're using tend to be, uncomfortable or for longer amounts of time and so on. So I think within the next 3 years, we're going to be able to shrink those supercomputers into wearable eyeglasses, sunglasses that are more tolerable than the ones we have now. And I think that that makes it more patient for us as users to spend more time there. And obviously, the engagement needs to be better for you and I to spend more time there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a great response. Actually, very clear and sets a good picture for understanding. So thank you for that. And it just shows the depth of involvement that you have with all of this space. And so we are super blessed to have you on this show today, Ayman Itani. And as well, shout outs to Ahmed for joining us as well and participating in the whole lead up to this. Yeah, it's been brilliant, and I really wish you well in your project and your endeavors, and particularly for the children and the charities that you're going with. And I think that I guess what you're doing is interesting and important because people do like games and they like participating in raffles and prizes and that sort of thing, and now you're bringing it to the blockchain and you're doing it where these prizes are highly valued pieces and NFTs and such. So I think that's pretty cool, and I think that I really want it to be a success because then yeah, it shows like you're building transparency in there, and it's just a way for people to move forward and move more and more on towards these technologies. So I think that in that sense, you're doing an important work here. And of course, yeah, like getting those kids involved is always like a bigger, let's say, a higher purpose.
I want to thank you, Julian, for hosting me today, and I appreciate that you did your homework and spent time prior to the call to go through the project and discussions and so on. So I appreciate that. I know that takes effort to formulate a well thought conversation like we had today. So thank you for that, and thank you for following the trail of thought and asking on point questions.
Well, thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. Good feedback there, and we really appreciate having you. You're welcome back anytime you want to give any updates or anything like that. So please, yeah, keep in contact. We're not quite done yet. We are, I appreciate everybody listening, and thanks for being here. And I hope good luck to you. We're going to have a little preview of these campaigns. All of you here today are entered into a mini campaign to get on the whitelist for an NFT Power Up original. So yeah, from here we are going to close out the show. But where's the best, Ayman? Where's the best place for people to follow you, to follow your project, and find out more, and maybe get involved with your
All right.
community?
Yes. So NFT Power Up. It's NFT PowerUp. So that's on Discord, on Twitter. And also myself, my name as spelled here, AYMANITANI, as well on Discord, on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever your poison is.
Nice. So if you want some good insight and information, maybe follow Ayman on Twitter and see which rabbit holes he's pointing you towards. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for being here, and thanks to everyone for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed this show today. And thanks again, Kelsey and Nutella, for being here as always. And we're going to end it now. So join us for the next Tokel Talk. Pay attention to the announcements for further details. Okay, and to keep up with the latest, follow us on Twitter at Tokel Platform and join our community in the Tokel Discord. So thanks again, everyone, for listening, and we will talk again soon. Goodbye.